our fingertips. Journalism has transformed with technology. To explore this changing paradigm, we are here at two-day national conference on future of journalism in the AI era, opportunities and challenges, organized by the Department of Journalism and Mass Communications, Faculty of Social Sciences, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. It's my honor this morning to welcome you all to this inaugural session. I welcome all the dignitaries, delegates, directors, heads of branches, participants, delegates, scholars, media friends, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to one and all. Now it's my honor to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Ganta Chakrapani, Sir, to the dais. Welcome, sir. I request our distinguished Chief Guest, Dr. K. Kesharao Garu, Advisor Public Affairs, Government of Telangana, to kindly grace the dais. I request our keynote speaker, Professor D.V.R. Murthy Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Andhra Kesari University, Ongole, to kindly grace the occasion. I request Srimati Shruti Patil, IAS, Additional Director General, CIB and CBC Hyderabad. I request our respected Registrar, Dr. L.V.K. Reddy Garu, to kindly grace the dais. I request Professor Srinivas Vadanam Garu, the Seminar Director, Dean Faculty of Social Sciences, to kindly grace the dais. Now I request Dr. Yagiri Garu to kindly present a plant sapling to Dr. K. Kesharao Garu, our Chief Guest. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you. Thank you.
I request Dr. Raghavendra Garu to kindly present a sapling to Professor Ganta Chakrapani, sir, our Honorable Vice Chancellor.
Then I'll give this to our Honorable Vice Chancellor and guest of honor.
I request Dr. Fatima to kindly present a sapling to Srimati Shruti Patil Garu. I request Dr. Lakshman Garu to kindly present a sapling to our Registrar, Dr. L.V.K. Reddy. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly join for the lighting of the lamp and the floral tributes.
At least two lighting.
I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Ganta Chakrapani, sir, to kindly preside over the inaugural session and kindly conduct the further proceedings.
Good morning. Welcome you all to this national seminar on future of journalism in AI era. The seminar is organized by our Department of Journalism, Faculty of Social Sciences. I welcome today's chief guest, Sri Dr. K. Keshavarao Garu, and the keynote addressee, D.V.R. Murthy Garu, and another distinguished guest, Shruti Patil Garu, Additional DG, PIB, Central Bureau of Communication, and other distinguished guests on the dais, and those who are in the hall, particularly senior journalists, research scholars, students, and our faculty members, directors, and teaching, non-teaching fraternity, and media. Very good morning and a warm welcome to all for this today's seminar. It is both a privilege and necessity that we meet to reflect on journalism in the age of artificial intelligence. We are living through a moment of unprecedented transformation in all walks of life, including information. Just as the printing press once revolutionized the writing world, and the internet redefined the speed of news. Today, artificial intelligence is reshaping not only how to tell stories, but also who to tell the stories and why to tell the stories. For many of us in India particularly, and mostly in vernacular press, AI is still sounds like a faraway idea. People are talking about AI, writing about AI, and of course using AI now and then. But I feel still it is waiting in veranda. It is not yet completely entered into newsroom. Whereas English media, and particularly in Indian English media, some agencies and some newspapers, news organizations, and some television channels, they are appropriating and using AI in some aspects, like developing images, or writing headlines, or making pages, some special pages and all. But it is not completely managed by Indian media, is not yet into that kind of position. For that, we have various reasons. However, Indian academicians and Indian media houses and Indian journalists, they are feeling AI, of course, in both the ways. AI is an opportunity to create a new kind of media here. And for journalists, AI is going to be a threat. I mean, really, AI, at what extent it is going to influence the media? At what extent it really understands our context, social and cultural context of India? And at what extent the media, the AI, the tool, understands our emotions and our culture and our traditions in the sense, not exactly the festivals, news traditions, writing traditions, storytelling traditions, and at what extent they really, the tools understands our soul, the soul of India. I mean, this is a big debate and a discussion. And of course, very enthusiastic journalists, enthusiastic AI promoters are telling this is AI era. That's why, I think, our faculty also, tagged this as journalism in the AI era. Whether, I mean, the main purpose and idea of this seminar is to discuss whether the AI is really entered into Indian continent or Indian newsroom, number one. And if it is entered, really it is going to rule the media? Whether immediately AI replaces Sushil Rao? Can it? And if it is so, whether the AI really tells the same kind of, narrates the same kind of, writes the same kind of line what Sushil is doing? All these are challenges. But certainly managements are looking from different perspective. Managers feel, the managements are feeling that, yes, AI may ease their work. I mean, lessen their burden. I mean, cut down their investments and budget. To discuss all these aspects, how the technology, artificial intelligence, is going to influence the newsroom, I mean, entire journalism, not only newsroom, news collection, news sources, and news writing, and news presenting, and also consequential impact. To cover all these aspects from 360 degrees, our journalism department has come up with this idea of organizing a two-day national seminar. They have invited not only a person like towering person in journalism, what we feel when we were in Usman University Journalism School, journalism class, our professors used to tell about the department where Dr. Keshava Rao used to be figured in every discourse and discussion. Many people, of course, this generation may not know that Mr. Keshava Rao Garu, Dr. Keshava Rao is very, very prominent journalist, and that too English journalist during those days. And we have a reason to invite him because number one is he has seen 4 decades of journalism as a professional. And also in journalism, there will be two professionals. One is news writers and another one is newsmakers. And he started his career as a news writer. And immediately after that, he became a newsmaker. As a politician, of course, he led a party like Indian National Congress around 25 years back as a PCC president. And he was very active in Telangana movement, where we collaborated and, worked together. We always consider Keshava Rao Garu as an intellectual. And even now, even today also, there is a relevance for his position here. He is the policy advisor to the government of Telangana. But exactly, now, not only India, of course, India, there is no policy of AI and where to use, how to use, what kind of AI we should adapt. So recently, I visited China, sir, for a conference where China is using and developing AI in every aspect, very, very pertinently in education and health. These two sectors, they are utilizing the advancement of AI. They are adapting all the techniques of AI and they are promoting AI to reach to the common man, to reach to the unreached. Whereas in India, I think, you are, of course, you are a very prominent policymaker for the last 30 years. And we don't have any such kind of IT policy or AI policy. And how to use AI in day-to-day life for betterment of society, that is very big challenge. On the other hand, there is no, of course, a media policy also. How to make media more accountable and more responsible. I'm not saying a policy that means restriction on media. But certainly, there's a lot of criticism on Indian media, whether it's English or Hindi, even Telugu, if we speak. In this scenario, if really, if the managements, if they want to invest and train the AI, AI is nothing but, how you train and it will work accordingly. If that is the case, as you know, sir, in our classes, when we were students, they always used to tell us, media should have accountability and should refrain from certain things and should promote certain kind of values and ethics. I mean, AI and ethics in AI era, what is the future of, Indian society? That is main worry. We have to concentrate. I think this seminar, because we got a very overwhelming response for this. Almost all top journalists of Hyderabad, whether it is Times of India, NDTV, Hindu, Andhra Jyoti, Farmer Andhra Jyoti, and everybody, they showed their interest to participate here. They came forward with their proposals, papers, their thematic interventions. And 2 days, definitely, we are going to discuss all these aspects. And in the today's morning session, we have invited Shruti ji. Shruti Patil is a very well-known, civil services personality. Is in PIB. Of course, she will tell us. We have not invited her to tell us, the government perspective or official perspective. As a scholar, as a person who is practicing and who is into media, she is going to tell us her own perspective. Of course, what kind of AI we are promoting, how it is going to influence both public and other journalistic perspectives. And DVR Murthy Garu is also Vice Chancellor of Andhra Kesari University. He was a journalist, the practicing journalist, and later he became academician and administrator. I once again welcome you all. Next 2 days is going to be a very wonderful kind of time and wonderful kind of discussions. Maybe we may come up with very good solutions and observations, perspectives. With these few opening remarks, now I invite Professor Vadanam Srinivas. Vadanam Srinivas is our Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences. Under his stewardship, we have 11 departments, sir, in the department. That we are offering from certificate programs to PhD programs in the department and in that faculty. Particularly, that in journalism, sir, we are the, I think, prominent university promoting journalism education from undergraduation. We have at least, an average in every UG program. In every year UG program, we will have at least 3,000 to 4,000 journalism students. If you compare with our old universities, sir, they give only 40 admissions every year, whereas we are giving 4,000 admissions approximately every year. For BCJ, MCJ also, we are 400, 500 admissions every batch we are giving. Journalism is growing field in this university. And of course, what we strongly believe is, if a person he may not be a master of some subject, but he should be jock of all. Like that, Open University students, definitely they're emerging as, persons who understands the society, dynamics, politics, and everything. So in this, with this note, I conclude my inaugural, of course, welcoming address. Now I request Vadanam Srinivas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Respected dignitaries on the dais, President of this inaugural program, Professor Ganta Chakrapan Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University. Today's chief guest, Dr. K. Kesharao Garu, Advisor, Public Affairs, Government of Telangana. Today's keynote addressee, Professor DVR Murthy Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Andhra Kesari University, Ongole. And distinguished guest, Shruti Patil Garu, Additional DG, PIB, Central Bureau of Communication, and our Registrar, Dr. LVK Reddy Garu, and dignitaries of the dais, delegates, students, research scholars, good morning to you all. I welcome you all to this two-day national seminar on the future of journalism in the AI era, opportunities and challenges. The Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, the first open university in this country, was initially known as Andhra Pradesh Open University, established on 26th August 1982 through an act of the AP state legislature. Later, it was renamed Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University on 26th October 1991 by the former government of Andhra Pradesh. The university's motto is education at your doorstep, and its mission is education for all. Over the past 43 years, it has been offering PhD, MPhil, postgraduate, undergraduate, diploma, and various other certificate courses. To release its mission and vision, the university employs multidisciplinary teaching methods and adopts flexible approaches concerning admissions, topic selection, duration, and age restrictions. The Faculty of Social Sciences is the most prominent faculty within the university. It comprises 9 departments: economics, geography, history, journalism and mass communication, library and information science, political science, public administration, psychology and sociology. These departments offer undergraduate, postgraduate and PhD programs. The departments of history, political science and public administration provide undergraduate programs in Telugu, English, Urdu media. Other departments offer programs in Telugu and English media. Starting from the next academic year, the university will introduce 2 additional postgraduate programs, a Master of Social Work and an MA in Geography. Besides this, the faculty offers various diploma programs in human rights, women's studies, tourism and cultural heritage, and international relations. Additionally, many departments organize national and international conferences on contemporary themes. For the benefit of students and the general public, under the banner of the Open Social Forum, our departments run webinars on current critical issues such as election surveys, the Constitution of India, the Ukrainian crisis and its consequences, etc. Other departments such as economics, public administration, history, geography, sociology, and library information science plan to offer diploma and certificate courses starting next academic year in response to market demand and the dissemination of knowledge. The Department of Journalism and Mass Communication was founded in 2017. It provides undergraduate and postgraduate programs in journalism and mass communication. In accordance with the UGC guidelines, the university adopts a semester-based system under the choice-based grade system. Journalism has been offered as an optional course and undergraduate studies since the academic year 2017-18. Furthermore, the department has been offering an MA in journalism and mass communication in semester mode since 2018-19 with the curriculum updated in 2025. Starting this academic year, the department is also introducing a diploma in digital journalism. By introducing research, short-term programs and seminars, webinars relevant to media professionals, the department aims to strengthen the media profession and prepare students for the workforce. In line with the university's vision and mission, it strives to reach those who are geographically and socially isolated. Over the past decade, artificial intelligence has undergone numerous technological advances that have significantly impacted the media. These changes are evident across all aspects of journalism: in content, media relations, journalists, working conditions, social media, and the spread of fake news. The seminar seeks to explore how artificial intelligence is reshaping journalism, from news gathering, editing, and content creation to audience engagement and media ethics. It offers a platform for academics, journalists, researchers, and students to discuss emerging trends, ethical challenges, and the skills needed for future journalists in a swift evolving media landscape. The seminar objectives mainly focus on explaining the role of AI in contemporary journalism, to analyze how newsrooms are integrating AI into their content operations, to examine how AI is supporting journalists and current creators, to examine how AI is supporting journalists and current creators to discuss ethical issues in journalism within the context of AI, to offer a practical guide on AI tools and recommended practices for their utilization. The seminar is organized into 4 technical sessions, focusing on cross-media storytelling, cultural, social, and technological challenges, current trends and prospects, global perspectives, AI in film and electronic media, AR and VR in newsrooms, from headlines to deepfakes, navigating AI's impact on media integrity and the impact of AI on PR and corporate communication, threats and opportunities. In addition to these technical sessions, the seminar featured 2 panel discussions. namely credibility of news in the AI era and journalism education and research in AI era. We received an overwhelming response to our call for papers. More than 80 abstracts and full papers were submitted from universities, media institutions, and research centers across India. After review, about 60 papers have been shortlisted for presentation in various technical sessions. We also invite industry experts and academics to deliver talks for each technical session to share their expertise in those fields. To foster discussion, it is proposed to invite distinguished professors and personalities who have made significant contributions to fields such as journalism, media studies, public relations, advertising, and others, alongside the resource persons. Research contributions will also be solicited from interest academics in these areas and related departments or organizations. In addition to research persons, interested scholars from these fields and related sectors will be encouraged to submit research papers. I am confident that the deliberations cover over these 2 days will generate meaningful discussions and valuable recommendations that will help shape the future of journalism education and practice in India. Full research articles will be peer-reviewed by experts, and all accepted papers will be published as a book with an ISBN. In response to requests from some paper presenters and research scholars, permission is granted to present their views in Telugu, Hindi, and Urdu as well. Once again, I warmly welcome all dignitaries, paper presenters, and delegates. Let us work together to explore the opportunities and challenges of journalism in the AI era and envision a media landscape that is ethical, inclusive, and technologically advanced. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Srinivas. It's very interesting and very elaborative kind of introduction. Now it is time to release our souvenir. Sir, during this seminar, we have received more than 60 papers. That abstracts are compiled into a souvenir. I request Giri to make the arrangements. Yes.
What you do. Buddhism and the Open University should be open. Not that type. It is not AI photography.
Yeah,
you should not take time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I request Dr. L.V. Reddy, Registrar of this university, to give his message.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఈనాటి అధ్యక్షులు ఆచార్య గడ్డ చక్రపాణి గారు, వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ యూనివర్సిటీ. నిజానికి ఒక భీష్మాచార్యులు ఇక్కడ కేశవరావు గారు, ఇంకొక ద్రోణాచార్యులు మూర్తి గారు, అట్లాగే నిత్య అధ్యయనశీలి శృతి మేడం ఉండగా నేను ఇక్కడ మాట్లాడడం అన్నది కాదు. అందుకనే ఒక జస్ట్ శుభాకాంక్షలు చెప్పడం మాత్రమే. కాకపోతే ఒక్క నిమిషంలో జర్నలిజం ఒక సత్యం అంటే నిజం, ఖచ్చితత్వం అనే పునాది పైన ఉండాలి. కానీ అది రూపాంతరం చెందుతూ తొలి రోజుల్లో ఎన్నో కష్ట నష్టాలు ఎదుర్కొంటూ, ఎన్నో ఒడిదుడుకులు ఎదుర్కొంటూ, బ్రిటిష్ ప్రభుత్వంలో కావచ్చు, తర్వాత ప్రభుత్వాల్లో కావచ్చు, ఇప్పుడైతే బ్రిటిష్ ప్రభుత్వం కంటే దారుణంగా ఉన్న రోజుల్లో కావచ్చు, జర్నలిజం అనేక ఒడిదుడుకులు ఎదుర్కొంటుంది, అనేక కష్ట నష్టాలు కోర్చుతూ ముందడుగేస్తుంది. ప్రజల పక్షాన ఉన్న కాలం కొంత అయితే, అధికార పక్షాన ఉంటున్న కాలం ఇంకొంత. కానీ జర్నలిస్టులు కూడా ఇప్పుడు భయపడేటటువంటి రోజులు. వాట్సాప్ జర్నలిజం వచ్చేసింది. ఎవరు ఫీల్డ్లోకి వెళ్ళి నేరుగా చూసి ప్రత్యక్షంగా అవగాహన చేసుకొని రాయడం కంటే కూడా ఆ సంఘటన చూసిన వాళ్ళు, లేకపోతే కార్యక్రమం ఏర్పాటు చేసిన వాళ్ళు వాట్సాప్లో కంటెంట్ పంపితే దాన్ని యథాతథంగా లీడ్ కూడా మార్చకుండా, అంటే కొంత కనీసం వాళ్ళ బ్రెయిన్ ఉపయోగించకుండా యథాతథంగా ప్రస్తుత రోజులు. అందుకని ఇందాక అధ్యక్ష తొలి పలుకుల్లో ఆచార్య చక్రపాణి గారు చెప్పారు ఎటువంటి పరిస్థితి ఉంది అని అంటే, మనిషి తరహాలో ఆలోచిస్తూ మనకున్న ఇప్పుడు ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ అనేది చేస్తుందా, ఆ టూల్ చేస్తుందా, మనిషిలాగా ఆలోచించగలదా, నిజానికి అందులో జరిగే పొరపాట్లకు ఎవరు బాధ్యత వహించాలి అనేటువంటి ఆందోళన ఒకటి. మనం రోబో సినిమా చూసాం, మనిషి తయారు చేశాడు, ఆ తర్వాత అతనికే రివర్స్ అవుతూ వచ్చినటువంటి సంఘటన. అదే ఆందోళన ఇప్పుడు శాస్త్రవేత్తలు మొదలైంది ఆల్రెడీ, దాని మీద తర్జన పడుతున్నారు. ఆ దిశలో ఈ పరిస్థితుల్లో జర్నలిజం రాబోయే రోజుల్లో ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది అని అంటే ఆందోళనకరమే. ఒకటి, సరే నిరుద్యోగులుగా మారుతారు, తగ్గుతారు, ఎందుకంటే పెట్టుబడి తగ్గించి పెట్టేయడము, తర్వాత నిజంగా ప్రజల పక్షాన్ని కాదు కాబట్టి వాళ్ళకి తోచినట్టుగా పత్రికను నడిపే ఛానల్ నడిపేటటువంటి రోజులు వచ్చేసాయి కాబట్టి ఆ రకంగా వస్తే అటువంటిది మనిషి మేధ లేకుండా యంత్రాలు లేదా టెక్నాలజీ మీద ఆధారపడితే ఎటువంటి ఆందోళనకరమైనటువంటి పరిస్థితులు ఎదుర్కోవాల్సి వస్తుంది అనేటటువంటిది ఇక్కడ 2 రోజుల పాటు చర్చ జరుగుతుంది. కాబట్టి నేను కూడా ఒక పేపర్ రాశాను, అందుకని వేరే విషయాలు జోలికి పోకుండా ఈ 2 మాటలే ప్రస్తావిస్తూ 2 రోజులు చాలా మంచి అంశాలని, భవిష్యత్తు ఎలా ఉండాలి, ఎటువంటి చర్యలు తీసుకుంటే భవిష్యత్తు ఆనందదాయకంగా సమాజానికి హితవుగా జరిగేటట్టుగా ఉంటుంది అనేటటువంటి ఆలోచనతోటి ఈ పత్రాలు సమర్పిస్తారని ఆశిస్తూ ఈ అవకాశం వచ్చిన ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేస్తూ, అండ్ ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ మై వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ టు పర్మిట్ మీ సార్ టు లీవ్ ది హాల్ అండ్ జాయిన్ ఇన్ ఆన్లైన్ సార్, బికాస్ ఐ హావ్ సమ్ other.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No, I expected registrar will represent as registrar, but he represented as a paper. I'm a writer and a journalist, former journalist. Of course, Elvin Reddy is a well-known journalist. He worked in Nadu for a very long time. Thank you, Elvin. Now I request, I think, it is time to, time for our chief guests, distinguished guest address. But before that, I request Sunil Kumar Potana to introduce Shruti Patil ji. She is IAS. Now I request Sunil.
Acharya Devo and Atiti Devo, dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, and participants. A good morning to all of you. Today's inaugural session, distinguished guest, she is Shruti Patil, madam. She is an additional Director General here in the Hyderabad region, Press Information Bureau and Central Bureau of Communication, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India at Hyderabad. Madam was Indian Information Service of 2000 batch. Madam studied her MSc by microbiology from Bangalore University and then pursued PG Diploma in Media Laws from Nalsar, Hyderabad. Madam previously served as an Assistant News Editor in Doordarshan Kendra, Delhi, Campaign Officer at Directorate of Audio and Visual Publicity, Field Publicity Officer at Directorate of Field Publicity, Deputy Director at PIB Hyderabad, Public Relations Officer, PIB Defense Wing at Bangalore, Joint Director, PIB at Hyderabad, again Joint Director, Publication Division, New Delhi, and also Director, Photo Division of PIB, New Delhi. Madam is a Director, Regional Outreach Bureau, Hyderabad. Madam very recently empaneled as a Joint Secretary in Government of India, very recently, 2 days ago, 14th October 2025. Thank you very much. Madam, welcome to the...
Yeah, I request Shruti Patil.
Respected President of today's function, who is presiding, Professor Ganta Chakrapani Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university, Chief Guest, Dr. K. Keshav Rao Garu, Advisor Public Affairs, Government of Telangana, Keynote Speaker, DVR Murthy Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Andhra Kesari University, Professor Srinivas Vadanam Garu, the Dean and Seminar Director of this seminar, distinguished faculty, delegates, and students, a very good morning to all of you. It's indeed a great honor to stand here before you all in this institution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, which is a beacon of inclusive education, an institution which is true to the spirit of Baba Saheb's vision that knowledge is a great leveler. I must congratulate the organizers for having chosen such a topical theme for today's seminar, which merits deeper discussion by all the stakeholders. Journalism, as we all know, has been shaped by technology. And in Dhaka, as Vice Chancellor Sir was telling, when the printing press came and mass communication began, people feared that it would corrupt our manuscripts. Then came radio. They said now print is gone, print may disappear. Then came television. Then again with that apprehension that only the electronic media would survive, the other forms of media would go away. But now we have, with a mobile in every hand, every person is a journalist. So throughout this journey, we see that every new technology comes with its own apprehensions, but then the technology has only been there to assist the journalist. But now this AI era is quite different. The AI tool or technology is there not only to assist, but it can create. So that is where it is different from the earlier technologies. So, and in this era, current media landscape, we find not only automated news summaries, AI anchors, deepfake videos, personalized feeds driven by algorithms. So AI is not only redefining the rules of production, but also the consumption of media. But as it is said, no technology is either good or bad by itself. But we should remember that it is also not neutral. It is we, the communicators, or the journalists who use it, who are the ultimate users of it, will determine whether AI becomes a force for enlightenment or a tool for manipulation. So let's look at the first part of this seminar, where it says opportunities, what AI provides. So altogether, I feel that AI can help in making journalism sharper, broader, and more inclusive. For example, when we look at, I will list out certain parameters where I feel that there are tremendous opportunities. Like, for example, speed and efficiency. AI can process massive amounts of data, give you real-time trends that no human newsroom would be able to do, right? So that's a big advantage. Next, coming to data journalism. Like, you can process huge amounts of data and analyze deeper patterns, or it will give you insights for investigative journalism and impactful journalism within a very short period of time. And third, accessibility. Now, like for example, we at the PIB do a lot of press releases and put out many infographics in a day. But now, in the 25 years of my service, I have seen many things change. Now, any press release goes out in many languages, regional languages, in real time. All the infographics, whatever we have to communicate about the government's policies and initiatives is out there for people to see. And it's all in all the regional languages of our country. And fourthly, AI gives personalization. If used ethically, the algorithms can give you stories or information that a user would like to see more. And next comes the fact-checking tools. Unfortunately, the irony is the technology which is used to create fake information or news can also be harnessed to detect it, right? So we use many AI tools to precisely tell us. For example, you see a video or a photo. There are various technologies you can use to search, actually, was it the thing or some other video taken somewhere else has been being misinterpreted or misused in this context? And we at PIB run the fact check unit. Most of you must be familiar with it, especially in the recent Operation Sindoor. We were out there in real time giving fact checks where a lot of misinformation was spreading. And then people, like, in this age of mistrust, they used to veer towards the official sources to know what exactly is the correct position, right? So these are a few areas where these are powerful opportunities which AI can give us, but it also comes with profound challenges. Now, let us look at the second part. As I was mentioning earlier, spread of misinformation. Deepfakes and misinformation are so rampant these days. For example, the other day, a few months ago, they even faked Prime Minister. Honorable Prime Minister was found promoting certain scheme, saying that if you invest 21,000 rupees, you'll get 1.25 lakhs. I mean, the AI tool is using, it is mimicking public figures who have credibility. That is a dangerous area. We also had the same thing happening to our finance minister, that she was promoting a particular scheme. And I got many calls from my own relatives. Ki aisa hai kya? Aisa hai kya? So, this can invade to the household. Another instance, which comes to my mind is that when that AI 171 crashed in Ahmedabad, a fake investigation report was being circulated. And then PAB had to come out and with the government say that, no, this is, do not trust this. And then we called the journalists and told them also. So this is spreading of misinformation and all this is one challenge that we face. The second one is, which is inbuilt in the AI tool, is the bias of the algorithms. It is all AI-based, algorithm-based, and these algorithms use data sets which are mostly not in consonance with our socio-cultural context. So what happens is they throw up stereotypes which do not maybe exactly come from our socio-cultural construct, and these are amplified and create an artificial bias in the minds of people. So this is the one challenge that we face. But the most important one, I feel, is the loss of human touch. This image comes to my mind in recent times when there was this cloudburst and flash floods in Uttarakhand. A young girl in her early 20s was trekking the mountains. A local girl, a reporter. She was trekking those places, hard to negotiate geography. She was standing there and reporting. And when somebody asked her, why are you risking your life? She said, I want the world to know, I want my country to know what my people are going through. Right? And that empathy, no machine, however intelligent, can create. So I feel that AI may write the report, but it cannot feel the story. That is why human heart must always be the compass of journalism. As an officer of the Indian Information Service, heading the Press Information Bureau here, I see AI's impact every day in the way the government is communicating to its citizens. As I was saying earlier, we issue press releases, do sentiment analysis, see what is being covered in the media, give feedback to the government as to what are the action points, what may be the intervention points. And despite using various AI tools in the course of my work, I believe the responsibility of public communication remains deeply human. It is my duty to inform accurately, to build trust, and to empower citizens. So that remains the core of my work. So after having looked at some opportunities and challenges, I would urge the Department of Journalism and Communication here, I think, which they've already done, to include these items in their curriculum, like data analysis, visualization, AI literacy and ethics, and accountability of algorithms. These are things on which there should be a clarity at this molding level in the mind of students so that when they step into the practical world, they know the right from the wrong. I'll end with a quote from Rabindranath Tagore, who said in this eternal dialogue between the man and machine, he said, the highest education is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence. Right? So let us ensure that AI serves humanity and not the other way around. So may the seminar light the way ahead for innovative and fearless journalism in the years to come. I wish it a great success. Jai Hind.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your, of course, wonderful initiation to this seminar. Yes, ma'am, and it is unavoidable to use technology or, including AI. But as you said, of course, from most of the societies believing that we are living in a fake news era. From fake news to deep fake era, we are transforming, maybe. This is definitely going to be a big challenge. But at the same time, we are not, as a university, we are not against AI. We are using AI very extensively. Now, all our texts are translated by the support of AI. We have entered a collaboration with Anuvadini Foundation in Delhi. They are translating all the texts, all our course materials from English to Telugu, and of course, in some areas, Telugu to English also, even Urdu also. So now, AI is, we can't escape from that AI. Not only here, and in future also, we are developing a very robust kind of LMS where all AI tools are used, as you said, for data analysis and report generation, and also progress, analysis of progress of this university. And we are introducing a lot of, courses, skill development, and vocational promotion, vocational training. And there also we are using different tools as well. Thank you, madam. Thank you for accepting our invitation and delivering a very detailed kind of address here. Now, it's time to listen to the keynote speaker. Now I request Professor Divya Murthy garu to deliver the keynote address.
Good morning to all the participants. I greet dignitaries on the dais, Professor Ganta Chakrapani garu, Vice Chancellor of the University, and Dr. Keshavarao garu, and Registrar LVK Reddy, who went to take part in his work, and Madam Shruti Patil, and Srinivas, and others on the dais. Thank you. And they asked me to deliver a keynote address for this seminar. And this keynote address, before I begin it, I prove my credentials. I was a journalist long back, along with them. 1986, when I completed my master's, I came into journalism profession. I worked there for 5 years. And 1991-92, I left the profession of journalism. I went into teaching journalism. I think many students are here in the state, outside the state, they're all my students. And these two, and third one is I became an academician, administrator, other credentials are there. But 2 or 3 interesting points I bring to your notice. When we were practicing the profession of journalism long back, around 40 years back. So what happened and what was happening in the profession at that point of time, we were taught by our seniors what to edit, how to give a headline, what is news, what is not. That was the guidance we received it long back. And they were instructing us what to do, what not to do. Strictly, they were saying it, this was not news, this was news. And by that process, we learned what was news in the profession of journalism till the rise of television. So what happened was from 1986 to 1991, and when I was a student of journalism, we were agitated to receive news. And we saw three dramatic events in my career. Three dramatic events or three dramatic news items which we came across. One was the death of Indira Gandhi, 1984, which we did not know because in those days newspapers were not there. And we had to wait till evening 6 o'clock to receive news, the death of Mrs. Gandhi. And that was the era in which we were grown as journalists and trained as journalists because news was delayed. But it was not considered to be a delayed news. It was sacrosanct for us. The second era, the second phase of journalism, which I saw it as the rise of television in India. Probably, I don't go into the history of that part. And with the rise of television, the news has become instant and everything has become news. And 1991, with the death of Rajiv Gandhi second time, so we went there to cover his event in Visakhapatnam on May 20th. And 21st morning, we saw it. He was assassinated. We learned the news through television in the early morning, 7 o'clock. Till that time, we did not know that he died. Still, we were believing that he was there. We saw him in full life in Visakhapatnam in the evening at 5 o'clock. So in 2009, you know it, the death of Rajshekar Reddy, which was speculated. That was the news. Three dramatic events, we saw it in my career. And during the last 40 years of my career in journalism, teaching as well as in the practice of profession, three phases I have seen it. One is the print era or print medium was so predominant. The second one was the rise of television in India. It was also predominant at a particular point of time. Now I'm seeing the third phase called artificial intelligence and fake news. So when I started my career in journalism or when I was a student of journalism, we were asked to read a book known as News in Print. So that book was considered to be sacrosanct and we were learning the principles of journalism, particularly the values of news we were learning at that point of time. And then in 2007, 2008, I read a book, News as Entertainment. So with the rise of television, news has become entertainment. And now the third book which I am forced to read is called The Psychology of Fake News. The transformation I say, sacrosanct, news was considered to be trustworthy. That's how I started my profession. The second part, news has become partially true. And now the third part of the last phase of my career, I am forced to read Psychology of Fake News. So now the point is, so what is news and what is not news? This has become a big debate, and I hope people in the seminar, they will make present papers on the definition of news. What is the importance of news? I'll talk about it later. And I'll bring to your notice two interesting points, two interesting surveys conducted in third world countries and also in the first world countries. The results of those surveys, including India, so they said the third world countries had to face, or they have to face 5 challenges in the era of digital news or artificial intelligence. The first one they said lack of newsroom policies are very predominant in these countries. In the age of artificial intelligence, we do not have newsroom policies, including Mark Tully once said it, that there was no editorial control in television news in India. That was the reason you find all news in different media outlets. So this is proved true in 2024. Last year, they conducted a survey in third world countries, and they said only 13% agreed that they had policies how to use artificial intelligence. So other people, they said, we do not know, we do not have any policies in the newsroom how to use it, artificial intelligence. The second interesting point they found out was, and some managements, how do they encourage people to use artificial intelligence? They said 23% of the managements, they support use of artificial intelligence in newsrooms. Others, they said they don't want to, they are not supporting it. And the second one, they said it is continuously supportive is, some people, they said 24.5% of the managements, they continuously support, but they never say this is good, this is bad, they never tell them what to do, what not to do. And 48% of the managements, they were neutral to use artificial intelligence in newsrooms. And the remaining, they said, you're not supposed to use artificial intelligence in your news content. So this was the second question they asked it in all third world countries, they said it. The third question is, how do they learn artificial intelligence or tools of digital journalism? And they said it, 57.6% of journalists self-learning. Nobody teaches them, they learn on their own. How to use the artificial intelligence in newsrooms. And 48.6 said online courses they follow to learn this artificial intelligence. The next question is, they said reduced transparency and accountability. They said, what is the use of artificial intelligence and what do you learn from newspapers or from your management or anything? They said one important critical area is loss of creativity. They said 54.5%. Because of this artificial intelligence or tools, they have lost their creativity, 54.5%. And the next one is erosion of critical thinking, 51.4%. And increased misinformation, 49%. And they said it as loss of journalists, integrity is 43.3%. And this is the survey conducted in third world countries, including India. And they asked one question for Indian journalists. They said, how do you find use of artificial intelligence? They said, we love artificial intelligence only in the presentation of news. They said 19% agreed. They wanted to have artificial intelligence to present news. Now you can imagine, presentation of news, they want to use it. Others, they do not want to use. And the last one is, they said it as fake news is becoming predominant. This is a big challenge for journalists to face it. This is a survey of third world countries. And in first world countries, they conducted a survey. The survey said in 2 countries, particularly Japan and Argentina and UK, they use artificial intelligence to verify their news items, to check their veracity of the news. And 42% in Japan, 44% in Argentina, 25% in UK. Other countries, they don't use artificial intelligence to check news. So this is the survey. And one question they asked it in the second survey that was done in 6 countries. They said, they asked the people or readers, are you comfortable with the presentation of artificial intelligence? 62% of the people said, we are not comfortable with the presentation of artificial intelligence or use of artificial intelligence in media channels. They said, we want to have human-led news or presentation that we like it. And 38% said, we love artificial intelligence. This is the results of second survey done in October 2025. This survey was done by Reuters and Oxford University both. And they said they did this survey from the perspective of the audience. They found out this was true in majority of the countries. Now, with this background, now what do we discuss in debate in your seminar papers? So, broadly from my experience, I have drawn some conclusions. These need to be deliberated and need to be discussed so that there will be clarity in the profession of journalism as well as in the teaching journalism. So one question is, so this one I very often ask it, and now I repeat it. So what is news? So when we were journalists, we were taught conflict was news. And after 2007, 2008, tragedy became news. And most of the television channels, they were using it, tragedy as a news. Now with the rise of artificial intelligence and tools, now comedy is becoming part of news. This is proven in USA. They say that comedy is becoming source of news. We use it because people like only, they want to see news only for 2 minutes. And more than 2 minutes, they don't want to watch it. Therefore, they want to include comedy in the news. People will watch it because you know that the rise of viewership will give them money. That's what they use it. So not more than 2 minutes. They said comedy will become a news. Now, my question to the Department of Journalism in the country as well as the participants. So now, how do you teach your students the news values? How do you enforce them? So we taught those news values, 8 news values we used to teach them to our students. And we learned in the profession, those news values. Our editor used to say this was not news, discard it. So that was the A's. And now people say, what is not news is accepted in the newsrooms. So that I don't go into that part. You debate and deliberate. So what is news? What can you make it? Do you draw new guidelines to cover news? And this should be debated by the people and the participants and seminars. They will talk on this. That's one issue I wanted to discuss threadbare so that the clarity will emerge in the teaching of journalism. That's one. The second one is, do you have a professional journalist? And you may say, many of the journalists may disagree. No, we are all professionals. We are practicing the profession. So I give you two studies what I conducted. One was in Kerala, the other was in Andhra Pradesh. So candidly, we asked a question to the practicing journalists. Do you send your children to the profession of journalism? So do you accept the profession? Since you are practicing the profession for many years, will you send your children into the profession of journalism? 30% said, no, we don't send our children to the profession of journalism. This was 10 years back. In Kerala, we asked it because the literacy levels were really high. They said 35 to 40 years, they were dropping from the profession of journalism. It's called attrition. They were not practicing the profession of journalism. So in this era of artificial intelligence, so do you have a profession called journalism, or you have a professional journalist? So you discussed that way. The government of India brought one act in which they said there is no professional journalist, all are workers. You can see from labor laws, you will find out. They said there is only a worker, there is no professional journalist. So in that event, if you do not have a professional journalist, what will happen to your acts, Working Journalists Act? Will you get salaries as per the guidelines of the government of India? So the profession is it in crisis or it is not in crisis? If you bring in artificial intelligence and other tools to the profession of journalism, so how do you practice it? What will happen to you? So this is the second question you need to discuss and debate and deliberate in the today seminar. This is the second question. Third one is, so this is very important. Sociologists may agree. This is third question is, are we re-entering the concept of mass society? Mass society was a concept discussed in the post-industrialization. So 1850s latter part, in most of the European countries, they were facing crisis in interpersonal communication. The wife was not meeting the husband was not meeting the wife. They were working in different jobs. They were meeting only the weekends. So they noticed that in European countries, this mass society concept was prevailing and interpersonal relations were being affected. So what to do? How to bring back the society to a single concept? So what happened was, at that point of time, we may disagree with Hitler. He found out radio could unify the people, and he used it in Germany to bring them together. And he brought one concept. Everybody should praise Hitler, Hi Hitler. And he unified Germany during that period only, 5-6 years. And now the question is, because of the artificial intelligence, because of the channels of mass communication, we are losing interpersonal communication within the home. Now you observe it most of the time in India, and nobody discusses, nobody talks to their parents, not children meet or talk to each other. So we are re-entering the phase of mass society again in 2025 or 21st century. And if media will unify or media will not unify the people, you need to discuss and debate, because it's a crucial point you need to discuss. I tell you one interesting point. In 2012, we had a mass movement or mass event. India Against Corruption, Nirbhaya Acts, they came and people roped in Delhi, they came together for single cause. So after 2012, if you notice in India, and there is no mass movement. Nobody, people are not coming forward. If you ask anybody, including our own students, nobody responds. If you tell them this is a serious issue, it will affect your life, nobody will come forward. Okay, let it happen. We have got our social media, we watch it. In the classrooms, if you deliver a lecture, people watch social media. They say, already lecture was there, sir, in social media. Why should we listen to you? So the concept is, so teachers must remember that the the role of a teacher is becoming redundant in Indian context, and people will depend on Google or social media channels. They don't listen to teachers. So now teachers have to redefine their role. They have to analyze the issues instead of giving the information. So information model is losing. Therefore, when we are entering the mass society concept in India, so what will happen to the country? How do we control the people? How do we give guidance to the youngsters? And what do they learn? And what is the impact of artificial intelligence on youngsters? You need to discuss and debate and tell us what will you do after the coming 5-6 years. So when I said in 2015, the newspapers would not exist in India. So now they became digital editions. It's called Media Morphosis. So 1997, a gentleman wrote a book by the name is Media Morphosis. Media will exist, coexist, as long as the human functions remain. Reading, listening, speaking, and watching. These 5 functions are there. The media will exist. That's what he said in 1997. And now those 4 functions are focused on social media. They are not a given priority with respect to other serious issues. So media morphosis will lead to a progress, development, or change, or social change, anything, whatever you discuss, you need to think about it. And what are we doing? How we educate your children? How you guide them? So this is the concept of media morphosis. You think broadly about it. And the next one is sociology of news. This is an important concept. What Michael Schutson, when he wrote a book, The Sociology of News, he was talking about objectivity in news. So he said the concept was brought from science journalism into mainstream journalism. Objectivity should be the principle of journalism, to give equal priority to all the parties that are involved in the news. That was the concept we taught to students. It's called objectivity. Now, in the age of artificial intelligence and digital media, you are getting it a single source news instead of multiple sources.
Yes.
So you depend on single source, and that is the news you're presenting to your readers. And the interesting point is, with the rise of visual media, so what person said, Burstein said, there is called pseudo news. So 5-10 people gather, you have the event, then they disappear, it will be telecast. So pseudo events or pseudo news is becoming popular. In that case, what will mainstream media do? And how do they present the news? This is another question you need to discuss and debate. And the last one is, what are the principles of journalism? So we learned in the profession of journalism that main purpose of journalism is to inform your audience, inform your people. So that's the purpose of media or media outlets. Now the question is, are you informing the people? How are you informing the people? Are you suppressing the news? Are you supporting the news? This is called polarized environment. This will further increase with the artificial intelligence, and multiple channels are rising. So one estimate put it, you have got 50,000 what you call it as social media channels which are operating. 41,000 are very active, and with the number of channels of 41,000, apart from your television channels and newspapers. So what content are you giving a conflict for every news, or are you not doing it? So these are the questions I leave for you to discuss and debate. And last one is, in 1983, when N.T. Ramarao was campaigning, so one journalist asked him, "Sir, you are repeating the same content in every speech. So how do you attract audience for you? So what will you do?" He replied, "Yes, I am talking the same content. My delivery of message is different. Everywhere I use different modulation to speak the same thing. So that's the reason I attract people, so that people will listen to me." Now, is it true 1983? So after 40 years, is it true? So the same message is delivered differently by different channels. They add some artificial intelligence. they manipulate, they do different things. But the basic purpose is the content is the same. And you deliver differently so that to attract your audience. Now, the question is form versus content. So in television channels, they talk about form, the presentation of newsreader, the appearance of newsreader on the screen, and the content nobody bothers. And now with this artificial intelligence, you have new presenters, you have got new content, you are creating content. So 1980s and 90s, we never created content. And now content is created. Therefore, you must be very cautious. So if you ask legal experts, they say, and very often I also repeat it in the classrooms, the social responsibility function of media is disappearing. And it is your responsibility to watch news or not. So one American writer did research on this. We were talking about newsworthiness. Instead of newsworthiness, now shareworthiness is becoming so important. You want to share it with others or not, that you have to decide. So I think that the most of the people will discuss these questions and you find answers. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Professor Murthy. Indeed, it's a wonderful, stimulating kind of keynote. You raised very relevant, almost more than a half a dozen questions. Really, we need a very thorough discussion on all these points because you touched from classroom to newsroom, everything. Unfortunately, there is no link to classroom to newsroom now. But you raised all very pertinent and alarming kind of questions with data and all the research work and everything. I hope with this keynote you set the agenda for the next 2 days of deliberations of this seminar. Yeah, I mean it's very relevant also the present context of media. We need not to wonder about N.T. Ramarav's comment. He is using different, same text to different audience and different, twisting. Of course, present journalism is that. Text is same. The same person will address a media conference, the same chief minister. But all the newspapers, they present it indifferently, from their own perspective, from their own ideology, from their own interests. Of course, it is happening. Yes, now we are going to, we are ready for chief guest's address. But before that, let me invite my friend Sushil Rao. Sushil Rao is a very seasoned journalist and of course my classmate and my batchmate, and we worked together. And now he's with Times of India. He developed 2 different modules based on AI. He is an AI-trained person also. He received a certification from very popular AI institute. Based on his experience, he developed two texts, rather two modules with the help of AI. He wanted that to be released. Keshwaraw gaరి చేతుల మీదుగా వాటిని రిలీజ్ చేయాలనేటువంటి. Am I right, Sushil? But still you are there. Your AI is coming here. Or what? AI tool. You please come. I welcome Sushil Rao. And bring that material.
What we do is we usually release without knowing what it is. This, after releasing, we should read. Yeah.
You can scan the QR.
Yes, you have to scan. Give it. Yes, it will show. by using ChatGPT, he has developed adventures of a cub reporter. Idokati. And second is the misadventures of a cub reporter. ఈ రెండు వీటిని సుశీల్ తన ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని by using ChatGPT developed. Yes, I welcome K. Srinivas garu, Uma, and Kurmanath garu, and other editors. Sir, yeah, Srinivas garu is also there. Sir, immediately after this inaugural, we have very insightful discussion on AI, and all these senior journalists are going to be part of that panel discussion, sir. Sir, me rakamundu cheppanu why we invited Keshavarao garu, because he's the, I mean, in my experience, he's the only journalist who is alive and live even today. He started his journey as a newsmaker and a news writer. Now of course, he's always a newsmaker. Not only that, we have a special affection for Keshavarao garu. Not only as affection, special respect also. This university, not personally, Professor Ganta Chakrapani, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, always remember, respect Professor Keshavarao garu, Dr. Keshavarao garu, because he was the pioneer and he was the who planted the seed of this university. He was the education minister in, in 1982. In fact, from 1801 onwards, he was the person who really imagined the future of an alternative for the conventional universities. And he's very different with his very different thinking style. Impressed upon the Chief Minister, Bhavanu Venkatram garu. Of course, before that, Vijayabhaskar Reddy garu also, initiated. And because of him, a delegation went to UK to study world's first open university, UK Open University, and they came here and they started India's first open university, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Always, really, sir, we have printed, published the photograph of you as a Minister of Education, Minister for Higher Education here in Andhra Pradesh during those days. You are very young, of course, 39 years minister. I mean, 39 years low education minister avadam అనేటువంటిది, it's always kind of because he was in 39 years, he imagined, ahead of future, and he that's why we invited Dr. Keshavarao garu for this seminar. Now I request him to deliver his address as a chief guest. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Murthy has thrown a lot of spanners in our minds now. Lastly, you threw the knife to cutting the entire thought process.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Murthy, one thing is very sure. We are a changing being. Nobody is a being. Nobody is a being. We are becoming. We change. As a journalist, or you, a man, or a reader, anything, if you are changing, you expect the tools that are with you should also be changing. You cannot think of journalism without evolution of technology. As you yourself said it earlier, Madam also said, you had a printing press, then you entirely changed the, not nomenclature, but the entire character of journalism. Then we had radio, we had television, we had whatnot, everything came in. Then came Google, gave you. Then came AI. The only difference today you find is you are hungry for news. You want to know. You send your reporter to news. She will tell you the better because she's a reporter. We have worked on a desk mode. So a reporter knows how they run from place to place to get a particular news. But how do they handle the news? Because you raised many questions asking about the values of news. Values of news, it depends on readability economy, but at the same time, it need not necessarily be so. If I have a big reader for a sensational news, it doesn't have the values carrying along with them. So these are the questions that you raise, 7 questions. You gave a good example of N.T. Ramarao. It should be very pertinent to most of the journalists here because we write novels, the mini novels. After all, they cover social times, social phenomena, and also the characters, human characters only. So these are there in almost all novels. How differently a writer uses them, how he presents them, how he articulates them, gets him the best book price, or otherwise nothing is lost. But all are same novels, all are the same books. So it is a presentation, which I said, one which gets readership, one which is presented well, which catches the not eye, but catches the heart of a man, gets in. So whenever you talk about values and talk about truth and half-truths, they are all, as I'm telling you, we are men with multiple thoughts and thinking. So should be your tool, should be able to be used in a multiple fashion. So technology comes into that picture now. I don't know why we are getting agog with this AI. AI is not a big tool at all. It is something which is giving you information. When teleprinter came, when we were there, the teleprinter was just then introduced. So all of us really went agog and said something. Entire world is before us. But how much we use? We hardly use 10 to 15% of the things that come on my teleprinter. Who selects them? I select. My mind selects. Who is my mind? I think of the reader. Does he like it? So these are processes which go through the journalist. That is journalist. The difference between a teacher goes through his book and has to teach from first lesson to the last lesson. If he's able to do it in 220 days. But while journalist works against time, he selects what is best and I should present it. I'm talking to the desk. About the reporter, when she picks it up, she thinks how it should be presented, what is that which interests that particular reader, or particular times, or the space. Because time and space are the two things that govern the entire world. So these things have to be developed in a journalist. As to who is journalist? A journalist is nothing but an informer. He has some tools. He has some technology. It need not necessarily be a print media. It can be radio journalism, it can be television journalism, anything at all. It can. Earlier to newspapers, we had Bhagavatam, Vidi Bhagavatam. We had that. Very popular, at least in my younger age when I was a child. In the villages, you have all that. The news used to come from there. This is going along with the times. And as we go, we have the help of a lot of tools. And that is known as technology. So how you use the technology is more important to you than what technology is all about. Now you raised, because your concern, 3 people's concern was about the fake news, deep fake, and all other things. They are welcome because they have created in my mind the doubt whether that is true or not. So when I read the news, I cross-check myself whether it's true or not. This has come because you gave me fake news or deep fake. Once Prime Minister has been used in that photo, but in Sindoor or wherever it is, now I don't believe news as I was not believing earlier also. Earlier I believed Srinivas editorial rather than other man's editorial. 2 things. Here there is a value judgment. I think this is not news. We don't think that what he is reporting right. It is his mind which has been talking, while other editor has other mind to say. I might read 2, but I'm attracted to 1. That exactly again journalism is all about. So it is not presentation, but the content presentation. What is the content? Content is the mind. Here you have a journalist. Now exactly I know because I've grown with ties more than most of you here. I'm 86, so you must know I have seen more research. Now we had 6 popular TV shows. And I'm not telling you because she presented. The NDTV was supposed to be more objective, but little boring too. Because it doesn't give that kind of pep which other persons will give. But if I have to believe a particular information, I used to go there. So it is the reader who decides not only the values or what he wants, because it is the reader who has to decide what he wants. Then he decides what values are. Because I'm not living like a sadhu asking for new values to be set in. Because your friend, colleague came here saying, Acharya Guru, if that is the value, then we need not bother about values at all. They are only presentations. So this is what I have things to tell you, sir, because you have raised more questions. I wish that group that sits next would consider them and would think about them, but they are not that big problems. But you seem to be really worried about those problems, and the reader is. So they are getting settled because we have been living with this kind of currents and cross currents, and we have settled ourselves. And it is our mind, and as I said, time and space which will decide what exactly should be done. Having said that, let me actually, I think I will not take much time. I had come prepared like him, but now I will not give because I'm not giving any keynote address now. But as I said, once we said, when you are getting all the things, I tell you, artificial intelligence giving us the best news, might be latest news, but it is giving the format form. That is the danger to the journalistic way of writing. I might expect to write something which attracts the people, the reader, and also answers the times, answers the real question, answer to all these things. But when I have a right before me, one thing which is prepared in form and with content, I'm tempted to use that because I'm usually a man is lazy when he's born. He becomes active later. Times make him active, otherwise he's lazy as such. So here when you get into this kind of a job, journalism, if I'm sitting at the desk which I've been sitting for 30 years, as Chakravarti said, what we do is get anything which is printable. What is content, I don't see. We used to get all these news releases from various parties or various persons. No English, but nonetheless, it comes. All that you can do is correct the English and send it. You really don't have that time. But we must know, if at all there is smartest fellow on the earth, it should be a journalist. Particularly. Why? I produce a child who dies next day. After that, it's over. I work up to 2 o'clock in the night, give the last strike for the newspaper, and when a news comes to me, 3 pages or 2 pages, and average 2 pages on a printer, I read it, edit it, if at all I have a time. Otherwise, because they are also sent nights, I just edit it. Telugu papers have a problem because they have to translate it. Then they put all their mind to do it, that they understand what exactly they're writing. Now, once they write, they have to give the heading. They have no time at all. They can't rethink of it. They have no time for second thought. They just give it to it. So any man who can take a decisions right immediately, that is why I think I have become a good politician. Decision making is one which journalism teaches you. Yeah. Now, getting back to A1, Madam raised me the algorithm issue. That is the problem with as far as the because AI comes to us from various parts of the world. Algorithm of West is different from that values to our values. But we don't put and understand what exactly is that is said. It is done so nicely that we opt for it. We go for it. And forgetting the fact that it represents the Western thought and I'm from the Eastern thought. That exactly is the problem of algorithms. So, entire AI is based on that. Today, AI is based on the algorithms, and that is how it is going in. But let me tell you, a reporter goes and sees 10 politicians. They all speak on the same thing. If she goes to assembly or the parliament, all are speaking on one bill only. She knows whose content should be picked up and whose content should be presented in what fashion. Even AI were to be used. Even AI were to give a best written, well documented, grammatically very good. It goes through algorithm and goes to us. So first, it has checks and balances at various levels. Checks when she knows what to do. As a journalist, you know of the 10 people which is making news or which will make news to the reader. That you select and send it to them. Now coming to, you raise another issue, the values. Sir, values is a very relative term. I can't just say this is value-based, this is the best valued thing. That I can't say, except here, if somebody says, Devo Bhava. See, we have never respected a person as Devo Bhava, we do repeat. So that is the value system we have. We care more. The most perplexing paradox, because we refer to the education in between. You see, today, teacher speaks, he thinks he's teaching us. He is not learner-based. What he wants, how he is taking it, what capacity he has to absorb what you are speaking is not known to you. All that you are worried is what you are teaching. And all that you are teaching is from the book. And knowledge is something behind the book. The day the teacher realizes that I need to go beyond the book, then he starts teaching. And when he's going beyond the book, he should take two things into consideration. One is the learner-centric, what exactly he wants, because the teacher's job is not that easy. I'm sorry, I'm taking 1 minute more as far as education is concerned, because that also is journalism. Teacher is a communicator to a small group who go back to people. That is why I give great importance to teachers than anybody else. Simple. If we fail, as a journalist we fail in misinforming people. If a lawyer I fail, I lose my case. As a doctor I fail, I lose the life of a person. He dies, the patient dies. But if teacher fails, the generation fails. Because it could be 30 people who you are trying to reach, which you could not meet, because 30 are from different levels. So is journalism. Your paper, though read by a popular paper, where you say, my circulation is, why are you saying that? You are trying to establish that you are most popular paper. Because I would like to be personal when I talk this. No, Andhra Jyoti. I read only one paper known as Andhra Jyoti. Right from it is anti to me, personally speaking. But we read it not because it is regular. It has something to say which I feel may not be totally distorted. Because distortion, as you said, has come in when it is between the owner you brought in, the owner versus the writer. The moment that conflict came, but that is part of every institution that we have today in this world. The society itself is divided into two. We have a class approach to society. One who wants to tell us, one who has to follow it. But he always rebels against it. So in journalism, the A1, for your information, is something which is going against the clock, which is reaching you quick. It brings the format. It brings all the information, the best of the information which you perhaps don't know, and you are tempted by it. The moment you know something new said it, you try to use it. But forgetting about it values. That is why I said AI can do anything. It is data collection. So for financial things or sports or anything, you depend on A1, no problem on that. It is only data. When it wants to interpret things, as you yourself gave an example of a disaster, of a natural cyclone, there I want man. So AI doesn't have consciousness of about it doesn't have its consciousness. It has all the visions, wherewithals of news reporting, of information, and all things, but without consciousness. That consciousness is within you and within the reader. So what means this consciousness? Means newsworthiness, the popularity of the news, the truth of the news, the values of the news. So as long as it doesn't have consciousness, we should know we are the persons who are alternative to it. This can only be known by your own experience, professionalism. You use the word professionalism, that of the truth what they give. In the professionalism, what we pick up is, although everything looks very right, everything looks better presented, but the professionalism brings what should go or what should not go. For example, you gave the example of some natural disaster. There could be some parts of that tragedy which we don't want to report. Now, when there are communal riots, there is a ban, legal ban also. We don't use the photos of the people who are killed, or when there is a rape, we don't use it. So these things have come through legislative measures. But more than legislative measure, more than legislative power is your power of mind, which I call the consciousness. So when you become the disaster, what goes in a specific fashion, which attacks men for your articulation representation, but must have along with it your responsibility. I was reading one book, Social Empowerment, Education and Social Empowerment, edited by Mr. Chakrapani. It has 9 or 7 essays. I mean, long back I have read it fully. It is because you taught about sociology of journalism. I'm bringing the same thing, same education, social empowerment, same. You see, every educational movement or sociology, every journalistic piece should answer the sociology, the social context. So whatever you write must be contextualized socially and culturally. You have used the word culturally also. That also is necessary. It's not why you said it. It culturally, I will not be able to define, but culturally is nothing but decency. Culturally is about our nation. So once we forget about the moorings of the nation, moorings of the people, the nation as such, the journalism is lost. It might become popular. Sometimes in the communal riots, Urdu papers are sold more than that of the other papers. I'm telling you with my experience. But when you come and find out what exactly it is not journalism. Because the person who is moving them to do that has a different thing to do which you don't know, but you are identified with that kind of thinking, that stream. So without taking, I think I only responded to many questions you have raised. And let us not bother about it. Let us not become, as you said, when things came, all of us were, when the printing press, we had litho machine. We were doing hand composing. Then came the litho machine. The moment litho came in, what one machine could do, what 72 people are doing. So we thought everything. But it added to me. It is a value addition to the newspaper. So this is going to give you the best information, perhaps, if you can. So without your conscience or without your mind, it will not work. When we say nation destiny is created in the classroom, it is not the blackboard or the duster, nor the soulless desks and tables. it is the human element, the teacher, who is going to create the destiny of the nation. So, journalism, to my mind, is, as you said, what exactly is journalism? It is information which you need to build your personality. And I will add one more, borrowing the word from Mr. Chakrapani. When you create a social being, integrated personality, if you can make, and integrating the society stratified society in which we live. If you can really work towards that integration society, and through the integrated personality, through the information that he needs, the knowledge he is trying for, looking for, that is journalism. That is why journalism is not only reporting, journalism is not merely news, it is also the editorial, it is also the feature writing, it is also sometimes we explain. The reader might differ with your opinion, but he would know the other side of the coin. This is what journalism is. If there are 2 views or 3 views in a newspaper or newspapers, we are not worried at all. We can't say the changing face of the journalism, a changing face of the writers, a changing face of journalists. It is for you to choose what is right. It is giving you all the knowledge. When you read a book, you know everything. And you go beyond the book to understand the spirit of the book. And the AI is another tool that is being sent to you. If you want to be lazy as usually we are, because we work again night up to 2 o'clock, we work, come at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and work up to 2 o'clock. And Srinivas is after us again and saying your copy has not yet come. He doesn't know the proofreader has not completed it, but he is not bothered about it. He says, first of all, has the copy gone or not? So we work against all that. So journalist has to fight all these things. And now today, another challenge to him is AI, which is helping him in giving a content. Change the format in the content. You change anything because here it has not taken away your consciousness. It has not taken away you. It has only provided you with the paper. So it has, as I said, a fake news is also a good value addition to you because you are not believing everything that is coming in. You are doubting, you are checking. So verification becomes the order of the day as far as the reader is concerned. That has been brought in by the AI. With these words, I think I should step and take back my recorded. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for a very, of course, provocative as well as very thoughtful kind of interpretation of keynote in a way. It kickstarts another whole discussion for the next 2 days. I don't want to take much time to conclude this seminar. It is concluded. And now it's time for, whether you believe it or not, we believe Athithi Devo Bhava, sir. So Athithi Devo Bhava. Some news we believe, some news you don't believe. Now it is time for felicitations to our guests. I request Srinivas and then Giri, Pallavi to arrange for felicitations.
As a mark of Thank you, sir. As a mark of our token of respect and appreciation and deep gratitude, we would like to honor our chief guest, Dr. K. Keshav Garu, Advisor Public Affairs, Government of Telangana. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and coming all the way. I'm sure that this is a very inspiring morning to hear from you, sir. And we are very much proud that you are with the Ambedkar Open University right before its inception, sir. Thank you so much for being here and for your valuable words.
And I'm not the only 1%, because I'm also here.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to kindly felicitate our keynote speaker, Professor D.V. Murthy Garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Andhra Kesari University, Ongole, Andhra Pradesh. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your gracious presence and your valuable insights. Your empirical studies have really revealed a lot of things, and I'm sure it is going to set a benchmark for this conference for the coming 2 days. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request the organizers to kindly felicitate our distinguished guest, Srimati Shruti Patil, IAS, Additional Director General.
I request Sudharani Garu, please.
Press Information Bureau. Thank you, ma'am, for your. I request Professor Sudharani, madam, Director GRCRD, to kindly grace the dais and honor our guest, Shruti Patil Garu. Thank you, Shruti Patil Garu, for accepting our invitation and coming all the way, and for your valuable insights for this inaugural session. Thank you. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to kindly permit us to kindly honor you, sir, on the behalf of the organizing committee. Kindly accept, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
No, we have taken a decision.
Uma, I did not take your name.
And a very unique coincidence of this inaugural session is all the dignitaries on the dais are journalists, right from our Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, Registrar, Vice Chancellor, and all the invitees, they are the journalists. It's a very unique, I think, this is a unique feature of this conference, which is really great. Thank you one and all for making this really great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay.
I request me. I request Girigaru to kindly coordinate the felicitation to our seminar director. I request Dr. Girigaru to kindly propose the formal vote of thanks.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. It should be one word vote of thanks because many of our guests are waiting for next session.
Good afternoon, Anand. Thank you very much, girls.
Thank you.
Good, nice.